ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Map 2 then of our first day of broadcast for the 5th season of the ESL Pro League. $1 million on the line for just this season alone, and things are going to be absolutely chaotic going into our second map. The first was NaVi's Revenge. They struck it after falling flat on Overpass in the offline battle versus Astralis, and now striving to victory in our online season. Now they venture into Nuke. I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson, and I'm joined by Chad Birchall and Lauren Scott to talk through this one. It's going to be big. It's Nuke, a map we've seen both teams play, and of course we're going to try and understand as to where this one is going to go. Quickly touching on Overpass, there was 16-11 score. You already highlighted as well that it was NaVi doing what they should have done over at the E-League Major. Chad, who stood out to you as a player over on NaVi picking that victory up?
Simple. He had that round where he saved that AK.
Just an AK, right?
Just got 4. Flamey had to steal the last frag there.
30 bomb.
Bit of a dirtbag. You don't want that. You're on to getting an ace, and you're like,
and he was on it. His crosshair was on him.
Matt sounded upset as well. Like he was ready for the moment.
He was at the pinnacle. He was like, and Flamey stole it. Never mind.
bloody Flamey.
Bloody Flamey. Or Flame Doggo, which I love this so much.
Flame the glass.
I feel like the more time we spend together, Chad, the more like Australianisms leak into my everyday discussion.
Yeah, it'll be peng.
He's learning.
He's got it.
He's
got it
learning.
down.
Yeah. Nice crepes, by the way.
Crep check.
Crep check, crep check.
Okay, we're
going
in
to
America.
stop
That
being
could go anywhere.
Yes, it could. There could be bloods and crepes. Or if you're French, they're sitting there like, why has he got pancakes on his feet? Okay. It's going into Nuke, and first discussion has to be that of what we saw from Astralis on Nuke, because they came into the Major claiming this, they've got a new map in their back pocket. Yeah, we've done our homework on Nuke, and then we saw them versus Fnatic, and a lot of criticism that there was a L towards their Nuke was that they weren't really tested by Fnatic. A chaotic, unstrategized Fnatic on Nuke, and didn't necessarily really have to do much more than a default execute on their T side. Chad, what do you make of that?
I think like all of the Danes were relatively early adopters of
Sure.
this map. We saw like obviously North when they were Dignitas and stuff, and Heroic as well.
Yeah.
They're all quite like this map, or picked it up early. With Astralis, I haven't really been super sold on their Nuke, just like what you were touching on. I think they have the players to be good at Nuke, but like you said, they need to be tested a bit more. We need to see a bit more depth from them. And on the other side of things, we have NaVi, who last season, this was their ban map with Keish, I believe. So they never have, they've only recently picked this map up. And like I said, for the Major, I think it was going to be their little surprise for everybody. Didn't get to unleash it on the world, unfortunately.
Now, Lauren, you also stated that Glaive had to pull Astralis kicking and screaming through their Nuke battle. You think that's something that's going to be a recurring theme, or you think Astralis have actually got something to show?
I hope they do. I think Glaive showed that he always had that level of kind of pushing himself further and kind of digging deeper. Moses actually said it at the Major on the desk after, I think it was even, I think it was Overpass, he'd brought it up. The Glaive seemed to be able to do things to turn rounds around, essentially. He'd be able to provide 2 kills here and there, which is not necessarily what you'd expect from him at the time, and then he did apply that to Nuke as well. You saw him pushing outside, even on the CT side, pushing up to beneath Silo, really trying to change the odds for them. And I hope it doesn't have to come down to just one player making the difference. I want to see a collective kind of improvement on it, so we'll see if that comes through.
I think a really important thing for people to know on Nuke, and while they're watching, look at this, watch the radar the best you can, the way that CTs rotate when the terrorists take territory. So once you do the outside smokes to take secret, how do the CTs rotate? If they're very one-dimensional and they always rotate the same way, let's say a player always drops down the vent to rotate to cover off secret, you know that you can pick that gap, and then you can exploit that gap. You don't necessarily have to send anyone down to secret. So just look at how teams, if they've done their homework, how they're going to use that in their play. Yeah,
and now if our viewers haven't done their homework, they may not be aware that Nuke did get slightly changed. I wanted to start talking about the door. It does sound like we're already ready to kick this one off. Yeah, Lauren, just quickly, closing thoughts and a team name for me.
I'm going for Astralis on this, and I want to see how good their T side is. It impressed me before, and I want to see if they can keep that up here.
Okay, cool. Now, Chad, what are you saying? You said you hinted at NaVi. You think it's going to be the 2-0 kicking the season off with a bang?
Definitely the boys from NaVi, Flame Dogger and the crew.
Can't stop. It's just going to be, it's in my brain now. And someone that's about to be in your brain at home is Henry G and Sadakis. They're about to invade your membrane with some Counter-Strike castings. Let's check in for Nuke.
Thank you very much. Yes, time to get back into it. Astralis, maybe as expected, a little bit slower after the Major. It's hard to come back from something like that and be as motivated. You want to take some time to enjoy the win, but not enjoy it too much because they go down 1-0 to start it off, or 0-1, and then What?
I think
Why is
Lauren's
that?
enjoying the floating arms on the map.
Oh, I
think,
see. I thought you were laughing at me. Yeah,
No,
that is true. I do
can
see
hear
that
her
floating
cackling in the background.
That's
so.
actually Flush's new tactic, which we weren't supposed to reveal until we see the new Fnatic. But as I was saying, Navi obviously going up 1-0. That's a great start. On the other side of things, on our B stream, Nip just lost to Heroic, and you pointed out they weren't at the major. What have they been doing?
Yeah, they've had all this time to practice as well. You'd think they'd come in like revitalized strategies. Heroic, like it's uncertain of their future and what Cadian's doing with them as well. I thought that was a lock-in, an instant win. I had Get Right and Forest on my dream team, and that really has backfired tremendously. But let's get into this one. Astralis now on the CT side of Nuke. It will be 5 sets of armor. And Matt, what's interesting from Nuke as well from the major, it actually was a very balanced map in terms of T versus CT victories.
This has to be the most balanced map pool ever based on that major statistic alone. Every map was within 1 or 2 rounds.
It's crazy. It's famously a CD-sided map, but the major proves otherwise. So here we go then. Not going to be a rush to kick things off here. There will be a Tech-9 for Seas in a smoke, and they're going to be going towards ramp. But Glaive, he's got an aggressive approach, but gets punished for it. Gets 1 kill. That's not going to be enough as Zipex tries to get 1 in return as well.
Zipex falls back slightly, but then takes a leap of faith to go back out and re-peek in toward Radio, and he makes the right call because he absolutely obliterates Guardian with an opening shot. Lovely start for him, I have to say, in this particular round. He's going to follow that up. Down goes Flamey. Told you I should have picked Zipex, Henry, as he looks for another headshot in toward the Radio room. It's simple that he'll confront this time, and that's not such a simple task because his head gets ripped off in return with the USP that's now been picked up. And he's going to rotate back in Simple and try and find another kill, but he's not expecting Kierby to be on his left side, our left, his right side, and Dupree will get seized.
Yeah, that's an interesting move from NaVi, I have to say. That's such an advantage for USP. If you're going to face 1-by-1 as a T side towards that ramp room, the silent USP obviously has the rage advantage, just picking off heads like Zipex did just then. If you're going to go towards ramp, you want to be using 1 flashbang, maybe a smoke to the left-hand side, and swarming them, overwhelming the CDs that are waiting there. Obviously, you don't have the spam potential there, but 1-by-1, that was very lackluster from NaVi, I have to say. And Astralis pick up yet another pistol round here. There will be the force buy in the second round from NaVi this time. Rushing up a lot more viable these days, but do open things up, and it's going to be Device in the perfect position from the Famas to do a lot of damage there, but can't find a frag, and actually taken down by Edward as well, who gets his second with the Tech-9. Really nice work from Edward there.
Decent work indeed. Flash goes in, Kierby able to dodge out that one from the rafters, but he needs to be swift to hold fast in his position because if they rush to upper with teammates already down, he's going to be under threat quite quickly. And Zipex has rotated back around through the vents to join him in the upper bomb site. That does leave Secret open, but they know there's pistols, and no one bypassed that position to go towards Secret. They don't have that confirmation, but Zipex at least is in a position to rotate. That's the good news.
Indeed. Wow. In terms of options for NaVi now, with no grenades, it's very difficult to get to these bomb sites. They're waiting for the CT reaction to come and see if a mistake will be made. They've got a minute to work with here, so that's absolutely fine. They've got that huge advantage right now. 4 on 3. The CTs now with 2 SMGs and 1 M4 in the hands of Kierby. Good news is for the CTs, Seas and Edward very low on HP. So what's the next move? It looks like it will be an upper play. Whether Astralis can hold it off is yet to be seen.
Guardian through the hole in the door. Zipex to confront immediately when he opens it. Good shot from Glaive to start it. Zipex gets taken down by Simple through the window in return. It's Guardian, or rather, excuse me, Glaive that's going to be found next. Simple absolutely dominating starting off. As he hits a second shot on the Deagle, it's only Kierby remaining, and he's got to work in from the main entrance. The flash toward Heaven, I think that's a rather obvious sales pitch because it came outside of the balcony, which means it can only be thrown from one particular place. That's outside itself. And if that's the case, unless he climbs the ladder, which will be revealed, he's got to go to the entrance down to 11 HP, and I dare say he's got to back out of this and try and save.
Big round from Simple there. It was Edward that opened things up with the Tech-9 towards the main entrance. Fantastic work there.
Oh,
and he
6
almost
HP.
cratered.
I thought he was going to crater.
Yeah, you're right. But it's down to Simple. So deadly with that Desert Eagle. He delivers on all fronts there. 2 very big kills. He makes his way out towards the upper bomb side there. And you're right. After Kierby gets dinged to main entrance, that's the round over. Has to save the weapon. Still can be a viable option here. Saving that M4 into the next round. His teammates probably will force around him as well. We saw what Simple did on Overpass. You have 1 rifle and then some pistols and SMGs to accompany him. Can be very exciting. But this is the shot from Simple there. Great shot to open things up. This is the one that really secured the round. Glaive, he got his head ripped off there towards Heaven, and here comes the force buy from Astralis as predicted. It will be 2 UMPs, 5.7, a P250, and the saved M4 in the hands of Kierby. So still a chance to win this round. Certainly can be a crossfire kind of mentality for the CTs coming in. We'll see what happens here as we go into pretty default positions from them. But NaVi, once again, just hold up, try and work out what kind of weaponry the CTs do have left over, and then make the next move as a team. I'd assume there'll be some sort of outside execution, get control of the secret area, and then upper bomb site split. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, we'll take it all into consideration. Device, fast rotation to get inside of the secret stairwell, does have position for the UMP to try and take advantage if they get closer. Watch the jump. Glaive, Edward with an AK, ready for that position. Tells Device they are pushing up toward outer as well, which means he can sit patiently with a little bit more confidence. They may, in fact, head that direction, but Molotov'd off. He's got to back down the stair as well, which takes away the headshot angle that he possessed. As Glaive looks for the re-big, tries to damage 5-7, gun barrel showing, gives his way, his position, but times it well and takes down Guardian instead. As Glaive rotates back around, that's Device's cute entrance. Exactly what he was waiting for as he picks up 3 on the UMP. And Simple in a 1 versus 5 suddenly.
Well, just like that. Not a single frag drop for the CTs yet, but Simple. Certainly deadly in these situations. Like we said before, you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. This time he only finds 1 kill there. So threat neutralized pretty quickly, but could have been interesting there for Simple. But a good recovery from Astralis overall. 1 M4 and some SMGs is really timed nicely at that point. Glaive strike first. He actually shows and gets 1 kill with a 5-7, throws a cat among the pigeons in that sense. And as soon as he does it, Device strikes from Secret. He's waiting there with the SMG. We talk about the UMP being so viable these days. He comes in, just times it really nicely, and it's going to be a full eco from NaVi now. So Astralis now have a chance to take the lead. Should be an almost guaranteed round. Upper rush coming in, sees he has got the bomb. Just going to try and get it down towards lower, I think, but that's going to be a very tall task, and he knows it. So be holding up, can't do much with the burst fire of the Glock there. So 5 versus 1, just Simple that Deagle, looking to get a kill, but shut down. 5 players survive for Astralis, 3-1 now. So after losing that second round, doing a very good job to actually get back into this. But we do have money available once again for NaVi. It will be 3 AKs and 2 kills. In terms of utility map, not really much to report, I'm afraid. 1 smoke and a Molotov, 2 flashbangs. Now make it 2 smokes. So they can go for a simple default towards outside, but this is a map where you need the smokes to block off a lot of the choke points, take vision away from the CTs. I guess the good news in that respect is there's no AWP to go up against. So maybe outside is still very viable for them.
Seized through the smoke as well, is going to try and take position in a steadfast maneuver that tries to catch off Astralis, and it certainly does catch Device in transition, thinking those smokes would be enough to hold them at bay. As a result, Dupree's got to rotate through the vents. They're already heading into lower. He's gone through both grates, though. That's going to give away his position, as Seized is already down toward the control room with the AK-47. Window's still intact. Will reveal when he fires through. That's not the biggest of issues if he can get the angle instead, especially not on an AK-47. Know they're down there somewhere, Dupree. If he opens those doors, I want to talk about it as well. That addition of Orange Box and Dark Spot, I don't necessarily enjoy it. I don't think it's something that I like because it's just too many angles to hold off now. Nice shot from Glaive as he looks for information, pushing up in toward radio. Confirms they're not inside of the lobby, means he's got to fall back. Kirby will go down. Now the other option, this is that they could rotate around to ladder. That's what they've done. Edward, he's gone up the ladder quickly as well. The spot inside of the site, as such Dupree goes aggressive toward the control room, hits the shot on Seized, but it's just he and Zipix that have to rotate around to the upper site to try and slow down the play, and already the bomb's being thrown down. They'll have 2 players sitting in the high ground in this post plant. And Dupree as well are just getting into radio now. Question is, do they go on it with only 1 kit?
Well, the thing is, saving these, they have got money left over, to be fair. They can buy into the next round. They're going to try and hunt for a couple of kills here to see if it's possible. If they find an early kill, certainly will go for it. They're going to be sniffing around the hut area at this point. Dupree, certainly known for hitting these sort of shots. He's got the AK-47. Decent HE grenade goes in as well.
Spotted his shoulder. But question is, where's the player on Rafters? Flash in. That'll open up 1 kill for him. Now he knows the second one's above. Third one's going to drop down from main. It's red HP. They've really got a chance because Zipix finds that. It's all about the trade on Flamey, and they won't quite go that far. Calm down, Henry. Stop getting so excited.
Yeah, I got too hyped there. You're right. But still, NaVi doing everything they can to keep the dream alive. It's Flamey this time with the 2 versus 1. Just as the Astralis looked like they got themselves back into the round. Like he said, they knew exactly where the remaining CTs were. But at that stage, a little bit too late as Flamey finishes things off. And it will be the AWP, though, for Astralis coming out. Device. This is when we expect him to shine. CT AWP on Nuke can be very powerful indeed. Lots of options at the start of the round. Normally going to be going towards outside, but ramp and heaven, obviously options as well. That late smoke comes in from Zipex. This is to stop the rush coming in at the start. Stop any T's trying to pick that area, obviously slowing them down, funneling them towards lobby, and allowing him to play that position by himself at the start of the round.
Dupe. Waiting to.
Is that what you're calling him now? Dupe?
Yeah, Dupe.
Okay.
Dupree the Doppler. Glaive loves that little jump shot. They need to be aware and cautious of it because we know Edward has been pre-aiming it a few different times. Simple as well is going to start to look in toward the hut. They'll be Passive cross set with Dupe on top of Hut to try and cover off that upper position as Edward again is going to be the one to work out, or jumping makes a noise. Glaive flashes him off, tags him up to 21, can't land the last bullet as he just gets around the back corner. So it's all about Xyp9x at this point in time as well inside of Radio. Flash means they can cross, but Device already rotated. They almost give him a chance for a double as they get crossed over, but he doesn't re-peek. The Molotov won't allow him to do so.
That's fine, though. They've got that first frag. Ramp very difficult part of the map to hold off. It's a nice crossfire there. Device gets the first kill. Xyp9x doesn't have to work too hard at that point. He can actually afford to drop down. It's a 5-on-4. He doesn't have to risk challenging there at all. So Device can fall back. They can allow him to have ramp room. They've got this man advantage. And you can see Device, timing might have worked against him there, but he recovers very nicely indeed. Finds a 5-on-3, and Edward low HP as well. Should be a secured round from Astralis in this one.
Spray back up the vents in case anyone jumped through. Won't work. Glaive's gone down, but 8 seconds. The round's going to end there because he's may have bomb, but well, I think it's quite obvious you can't get to a bomb site in the time that remains. 2 seconds left. Does hit the shot onto Dupree. That confirms his location, but over top of the roof, they won't make it far enough to take the gun out of his hands and take the money away. So he stays with 1900, but he does have an AK. The rest very limited, and I highly doubt are going to force in around that with sub $2 grand money.
Yeah, well, that just shows you how powerful the AWP can be in this map. Like I said, many different options to start the round. This time, Device opts to go towards ramp at the start. Xyp9x kind of baits him in there with a flashbang. He finds that first kill, and they're just very disciplined there. They're not giving too much away, falling back, making the teams make the next move at that stage. And this will be a full eco. I think C's saved the weapon, so they will force him around it, but it's just PT50s, and it would have been a double eco regardless, so it's not too much of a big deal here. There will be 5-2. A couple of kills coming in, though. Edward finds a kill on Glaive there with the P250, but they know his position. The bomb's down as well. That's pretty much all he'll be able to bring to the table in this round as Dupree finishes things off. So a little bit of a dent to the economy there, but nothing really to write home about. As we go into round number 8, this should be the full eco now for NaVi. The loss bonus not quite there for them yet. It's the second stage right now, so should be Glocks or P250s across the board, and Astralis now have a healthy lead. So Glaive, he adjusts, he brings out the UMP, and as I discussed on the desk, the UMP, you're going to see that gun coming in a lot. As it's been kind of modified over the years, it certainly is the most viable SMG out of all of them. It's very cheap. You can get a UMP armor and all the grenades for the same cost as just the M4 itself. So it certainly is an interesting addition to the game, and maybe one that'll be looked at going forward. This is almost making other SMGs redundant at this point. It's very rare to actually see like the MP7s or the P90s, which were so common in those second round buys, maybe in the first couple of years of CSGO. Now it's just all about the UMP, even in gun rounds.
Yeah, it really is. To the point where some people are creating cause for discussion about it. Look at this position from Glaive. Usually you see him in behind the silo itself. It's an old school position. That's going to work wonders because he gets one kill. He steps out. Now they're all distracted. And he tries to find the last, but Device is there to get it back with the op. Thank you very much, Device. Need all the points I can get from you. Seized. He's going to go back down into the lobby. Do what must be done with just a pistol for a gun. And Glaive finds him first. It's going to go 6-2 to start things off on Nuke. CT side, Astralis. But as you say, it was very even at the major, so yeah. I don't really know how to read Nuke at this point, because I've seen both. I've seen super one-sided games end the way we expect, and then close games, and I've seen a few odd comebacks on the T side.
Yeah, it's a strange one right now. When the map first came out, it was certainly a CD-sided affair, but as we predicted, going forward, we kind of said this when it first came out. As the game develops and people start to realize how to play the T side, we said it balanced out, and it's almost getting to the point where T's actually winning halves now, which is not even an instant win at that stage anymore. It's no reason why the T's can't do that in return in the second half. But I like this smoke coming from Guardian. Boost it up. Obviously giving him a little one-way there, seeing if any CTs are being aggressive towards outside. He will have Device up against him this time. He's towards Secret, so he'll be checking out towards Silo. Simple waiting there as well. Known to be an aggressive player. Device might find his first frag if he overextends it a little bit.
Flamey. Sit to hold the angle red crate as well, which could be pushed, as we saw the aggressive play from Astralis. That smoke timing, Device doesn't fire into it. Yeah, and it may have been a gift. And as such, they've got a wall lined up, but he still has vision. Slightly, just enough, misses a shot on Flamey, though. That gives Flamey a chance for the shot in return, and you do not want to give Flamey a second chance. He's not the girlfriend that you say you're sorry to and allow her back in your life, because he'll rip your head off twice just like that, as he does manage the shot on Device. And seized, he'll rotate in inside of the site to catch off Kirby, rotating back at Hut. They've got them moving. That's the thing you have to do to the defense on Nuke. You've got to cause chaos by moving and rotations, especially around the secret and outside positions, because it opens up upper. As Dupree gets tagged up onto 20 HP, still recovers take 40, and it's Flamey down in the end.
Great work from Dupree overall. 3 kills with him. Got a bit hairy there towards the end of that Altercation with Guardian, he legs him, but Dupree knows he's got a couple of seconds there to try and take him down, gets the headshot in return as well, and finishes off the job. 7-2, another eco, I believe, for NaVi at this point. They've only got about 3,200 in their bank accounts across the board, so nothing really invested here. Deagle comes up with simple head armor as well, but that kind of balances the book. I think he had a little bit more residual cash. Oh no, I beg your pardon, he doesn't. Down to 1,200, but maximum loss bonus next round is not a huge deal. He'll still have plenty of cash going forward, enough for an AK at least. So Dupree opens things up, and Device aggressive this time towards outside. He knows it's an eco, not going to be picking up the AWP this time, just trying to do some work at the AK-47, and is he doing it? He's going to kill on towards Flamey, 5-on-3, and round should be over at this point. Edward finds a cheeky little kill there, but no real grounds to even get to a bomb site at this point.
Simple tries with a Deagle. Not a bad shot hit Device, but Kiervy's there to answer the call. 8-2, Astralis looking to recover and go 1-1 on the night. Remember, it's not a best of 3 or a best of 2. It's individual maps. It's been the same for Pro League over the course of time, but we do have to mention that. So they win this, they go even for the evening. Because you call it an evening.
Yes, that works. That's good.
Thanks.
8-2, money coming back in favor for NaVi this time. 8-2 though, so no AWP for Guardian. That's obviously a huge strength to their bow, but Guardian's definitely very good with the AK-47 itself. And this is what I'm talking about, that dynamic player being an AWP device. They wanted to get aggressive to start the round. NaVi aware of that, though. They drop a Molotov in the CT mouth there of the round for him, so he has to fall back slightly and whiffs his own Molotov and locks himself out further. Not a huge deal, all things considered, but Simple, once again, looking to get a little bit aggressive here. After this smoke goes down, I was going to speculate Device fall back, but he's actually used that as a little bit of bait, suggesting they're trying to hide themselves in that ramp room as he pushes forward here. Oh, God.
Simple's just hitting headshots left, right, and center now.
Reads him like a book. Like I said, that smoke, he's pinning that down to suggest it's just Zipex here, don't worry about me, I'm just dropping this so you don't come forward. But he pushes fire. It's quite an intelligent play from Device, but Simple one step ahead of the game. They have the 5-4 now. Lovely little smoke there.
That one's the best I've seen, yeah. You want to talk about a smoke to tell someone that there's one player there?
It's like we've got a live audience.
That's how you do it. You talk about the impressive smoke that he tried to throw. Well, that one just says, yes, I am here. You're right. That's exactly what it does. Zipex is going to hit Simple. Seized hits back to Dupree, and it's back and forth again as Zipex will hit to Seized and then close the round with his third straight kill. He's hot property right now. Dupree leading the way in 14. It's 9-2. And yes, the peanut gallery is in the room.
What? What does that mean?
The peanut, oh, you don't know the peanut gallery, that expression?
No.
It's like
I've
your
never heard
nosebleed section. It's the people that yell and hackle.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like the people who criticize the live audience. That's always,
Right.
the peanut gallery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know there's that Australian commentary guy. It's called Peanut Gallery. I just thought it was a weird name.
Yeah, no, I mean, Australians are weird, so I can totally understand.
That actually makes sense. I just know
They have
random
peanuts
names.
for brains, actually, so that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's calm down. We go into round for 12, and it's going to be 5 AKs with 5 smokes and flashbangs and no Molotovs. Guardian, just to note, he's on 1 for 10 right now. Certainly an AWP-centric map. It's definitely possible for him to open up the map towards outside. Hasn't really done too much at all yet, but it is 9-2 in favor of Astralis, looking very dominant here in the first half. As we go towards outside once again, 4 players for NaVi, setting themselves up to go towards Secret. To be fair, we haven't had one of those classic rounds where you're getting people towards Secret and trying to execute towards downstairs. But look at Device waiting the other side. If he plays this well, he can actually sneak in behind them. He's got a lot of sound cues here. Gets his kill on Flamey. That was the moment. Takes some damage from his teammate Glaive, but like I said, if he times that well, he gets behind all of them, potentially gets a nice little 3-man spray down.
It's true. It could have easily happened, but unfortunately, Caster's Curse ruined it, Henry. It's your fault. Edward's going to take down Dupree. That's equaled again by Kierby. Unfortunately, the man that's inside of the site below, it's Kierby that catches off a late lurk toward the site, a late rotation from the terrace. The man that's down below who has to do the job to deny the plant can't. Edward hits it. They get toward the vents. Glaive falls. And does Kierby fancy his chances of catching them off? Somehow C still hits a lovely amount of damage onto Kierby despite being on the ladder, but enough to discourage the round, and NaVi will pick up number 3. They've got lots of money, so I imagine he'll look for exits towards Secret instead.
Yeah, bomb down, and not really much he can do here, but you're right. He has got a ton of money here. To be fair, it's not swelling out of control. Dupree's done 1,600, but Kierby himself just shy of 10,000, so he'll be happy to try and hunt for a couple of kills here. Should be able to get this one, Edwards. Oh, almost whiffs the shot there, but takes him down. Every kill he gets is viable, because you can see right now, as this round ends, we'll bring up the scoreboard. You can see the money for the reinvestments to the terrorist, very low indeed. Terrorist side is not so much of a huge factor, but still won't have AK's head armor and all the nades required. Against the M4s, it's actually kind of a big deal. And I think Edward actually went down there with the bomb as well. So all players dropping towards the end there, so this reinvestment won't be amazing. AK's come in, one Galil, and you can see Guardian, no nades, simple no nades. Same story for Seized as well, so a very rough round for them coming in here. If they lose this one, they lose everything in terms of loss bonus, and it's a full reset. Could mean a double eco in a really pivotal part of the game. Upper rush comes in, probably the only option they have, and Reed mows them down. First 2 kills come in his favor.
Do indeed. Edward, oh, get out of the window, my friend. Apparently burns himself, gets stuck, caught out. Simple, good position again, tries to go around toward Heaven. He's going to go back as well on top of that new catwalk position and drop into the main entrance. This could catch them off because the option's there to go both directions, and they need to read this well. Now, did they hear him drop in? Because Dupree is repositioning accordingly, but it's Simple who gets the better of him still with the headshot, just barely as he gets tagged to 7.
Simple playing lights out right now. As soon as they get in trouble, he seems to be recovering these situations time and time again. Low HP for Edward and Simple though, and Zipex picks up one of the aforementioned low HP players. Zipex wanting a little bit more there. He makes it down to another 2-on-2 situation. Once again by himself. He has no idea what's going on in round for him. That's a high-risk maneuver from him and balances things out here. So Flamey and Edward still within a shadow winning this round, and Flamey's actually snuck in towards the upper bomb site. He actually has got the bomb as well. So options, obviously, could go down the vent if he wants to. Edward could be joining him. Looks like it will be an upper plan at this stage. So retake maneuver having to come in from Astralis.
Plant comes in for Flamey. Flame Daga, as the peanut gallery calls him. Edward's going to rotate with 13 HP. He was the one that was holding off the squeaky door for the plant. They're making a decent bit of noise for Glaive to get toward Heaven instead. Both have kits, so it's all about getting information as he tries to be a jack-in-the-box and go up and down. Logo stick, it's Kierby that's going to find the first kill, and that means Flame Daga is the only one left alive on 13 HP as he tries to slip in behind. Catch them off as well as they're going to try and bait this out. They're both not looking, they're both going to go down. Edward's timing's perfect. That
must have been a miscommunication from Astralis. They seem to be so dead set on him being main entrance. They didn't think Hut was a possibility whatsoever. I'm assuming a bad call comes in from a teammate, or some speculation was made there. Edward was gifted that round towards
They thought he was outside for sure.
He was low HP himself. They could have touched a bomb, watched both choke points, main and towards Hut itself, and they knew his HP. Just one bullet would have done it, but they're both checking the same area.
Remember that at 9-4, it was the 13th round that it happened in, forces guns away out of the hands of Astralis. This could go 9-6. If they end up winning the game by a very slim margin, that round's big.
Yeah, I agree. Well then, we do have the force buy, of course, from Astralis. Devised AWP has had a couple of chances for shots here. That one was beautiful as he takes down Seized through the container. It's a headshot, so 5-on-4, a much needed kill, but Dupree gives it back straight away.
Guardian is going to try and spray through the smoke with his Galil. It's Kirby that's waiting on the other side of said smoke, but not in a position where he would have been under threat. Instead, he's waiting in the vents to watch for a wraparound as Glaive does damage outside, but information for what? It's a slight amount of damage, fractional onto Simple. And they already know they're down below. Zipic's backing up, trying to find a secondary headshot position rather than the stairs itself. It works. He hits Edward and follows up. Flamey goes down as he plays from the control room to drop the bomb as well. It's Simple left 1 versus 4, and he was waiting to try and catch off rotations and come in late through Squeaky. He's now going to go alone in this situation with the bomb that's out of his hands, so they may have just recovered this.
I think so at this point. Simple. He's been very good so far, but this might be a little bit of a stretch for him. But here we go, though. It starts to begin. He actually takes down Kiabi. So, versus 1. Not really enough time to work with it. And Incendiary should decide things here as he is held off there for another 8 seconds or so. And have to rotate in, is hoping to find a frag. Maybe someone will make a mistake at this point. Wildly firing off shots, and it looks like it's over at this stage. But we'll see whether he can find another kill or 2.
He's going to try. Bomb's just ahead. 7 seconds round over. Tagged to 1 HP and needs to die.
Yeah, definitely at that stage. But to be fair, we say that he only gets 1,400 from that round. It actually would have been beneficial to stay alive, but dying after the timer, that's the point we're trying to make. If he goes down with 0, that's a real big problem. But that's the shot from Device. Got me a little bit hyped, and there's his stats right now on screen, and I sort of image for you there. 104 ADR. He had a rough time on overpass, I have to say. So he certainly has woken up. The AWP's delivering at this point. As we enter round number 15, it's a real commanding victory so far for Astralis. 10-4, and very likely they'll get the 11th round as well. You can see the buy comes in for NaVi. It's going to be Tech-9s, P250s. They have got a bit of utility to work with, and it looks like maybe some sort of upper play here. Simple. It's so deadly with that Deagle so far, trying to find that kill on towards Zipex, but denied for now. Oof, God, be careful.
Yeah, he's trying, isn't he? He's trying his absolute hardest. That's Dupree. Watch off to behind the door. He's going to sit as well in behind the vent, which is covered off for at least a moment on the way through. Nice little gap. I wonder if there's a collision on that gap. That's something I should evaluate now that they've removed those secondary railings up above. Molotov's out, Skylight's blown up. That's going to force anyone off to pop with Hut. No one playing there, though, as we already saw the position from Kirby. And they immediately checked Dupree's position. The most common to play on the floor as of late seems the trend. Thankfully, Kirby hits one and has a wider angle to play on the smoke, but they've gotten down the vents. The other two players, Guardian and Simple, and getting a bomb plant could be something to write home about and try to go for the top silo. That doesn't exist anymore.
It does not, but there are more options now for the terrorists to hide. As you said, the orange box and dark spot, and Simple doing more work with that Desert Eagle. Takes down Kiabi. Now a winnable situation for them.
Especially on a retake from Device on an AWP. He's going to smoke off bomb. That's lined up almost perfectly with the door. Spots already that Guardian's there. As soon as he realizes that those Simples behind him and they've got a pinch position on both players, as Zipex, reads that he's gone in the smoke. He's going to watch the wide side. Good awareness as always. The intelligence of Zipex cannot be disputed as he'll find the 11th round for Astralis.
He's just so sick in those clutches, isn't he? He delivered in the major time and time again. He never gets the most amount of frags for a team, but he wins so many pivotal rounds for them. Just to note there as well, Guardian really dropped off. I think he finishes that first half with 2 frags. Orpas are really influential, especially on the T side for your defaults, working those outside picks. He was shut down. Great half from Astralis overall, 11-4. And this could be a real rough road now for NaVi to get back into this one.
It could be. And they recover from an awkward round wherever it clutches it. 11-4, we'll be back. Well, we're back into the action. Astralis with a hefty lead, 11-4. But as Nippa proved after going 8-7 in their first half of Nuke, you can very easily not win a single round in the second half. They just got beat 16-7 against Heroic and go 0-2 on the night. Astralis, they don't want to suffer the same fate. They want to take this 1-1.
Against her and Heroic as well, who are in a difficult position. They've just lost Frizz, one of their star players, and you'd think with NiP not attending the major, they'd be in a fantastic position after the break and come out all guns blazing. A disappointing night in the office for them. Another bit of news has come in that's relevant to the Pro League as well. FaZe have just confirmed the departure of AZ as well. That's actually come in. So lots of interesting moves going on in 2017, Matt. It's going to be a hell of a year. Lots of big teams being made. And I think a lot of people can assume where AZ will end up. I don't want to speculate too much, but you can probably work it out.
Can I find out by looking at a compass?
Yeah, nice. Yes, you probably could.
Okay, I'll see if it'll point me in the right direction.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
see if that's a possibility.
we'll get into the second half, ladies and gentlemen. It is 11-4 as Astralis swap over to the terrorist side here. So if they win this pistol, this could be tied up very quickly indeed. Lots of interesting strategies being used on the T-side pistol. A lot of upper rushes now since the door is a lot more accessible now for those rushes. We have got 3, make it 4 sets of armor, and Glaive with a single smoke and 2 flashbangs and a couple of decoys there in the mix as well. Nothing too interesting to report on the CD side. 4 sets of armor, no one rushing, particularly just a default setup from them.
Guardian backing away with the pistol, does try and jump to spot anyone that's gone over top of the silo. I'll call it that because, listen, I know North America likes to eat their Twinkies, but apparently Europe doesn't, so.
We'll call it silo.
Silo, Twinkie sounds so much better though, doesn't it? Wake up in the morning, you look in the fridge, you can eat a silo or you can eat a Twinkie.
Do you keep Twinkies in the fridge?
It makes the scream a little bit better that way.
So I've heard. As we go into round number 1 here, it will be quite a slow start. No one giving away anything just yet. Still going to be a 5-on-5, and Glaive not expending his utility just yet. A defensive hole from the CTs, and Kiabi, he starts to encroach on the outside area. From the catwalk position, Flash comes in. That's designed to give him a bit more freedom as he makes his way towards main entrance.
Simple's going to wade in behind the vents. They're going to check it as well. Finally, Dupree looks that way. Great shot. Hits Simple down. Device. And Dupree again will find kills as a result of this. It's Flamey and C's trying to finally do damage to Astralis, and they'll get a shot onto Dupree, but not before the bomb is planted. And Device with lovely start once more. We'll get 3 kills. Look at that. Just chilling, just hanging. Yeah. Have you ever hung onto a monkey bar like that?
Not in a while. Not in a while. Back in the day,
Let's
maybe.
go to the park tomorrow.
If it's not too cold, sure.
Wimp.
I need those gloves. Chad's got some nice gloves. I'm trying to steal from him. So
I need the gloves too. If anyone has gloves, they want to send me their trade link, I'll take those gloves. I'll take those gloves. Look at those ones Flame Dogger's got.
Which ones has he got? Oh, they are nice. Look at those. Studded as well.
He looks like he should be in a biker gang.
Okay,
I can see a beard on. Actually, you know what? He could do without the beard. He just has that mean mugging face with the leather jacket.
Yeah.
Glaive. Ooh, careful with that smoke. That's better. Zipix walks in, takes 2. Glaive will eventually get Simple. Device follows up on Edward. The double push at ramp room is going to work out well. As Seized will drop off the scout and go to the UMP to try and make amends for what has been lost. What would Flamey's biker game be called? The Flame Dogs.
What's this whole Flame Dog thing about?
It's just making fun of Chad, really.
Yeah, but what does it come from? Does he just make it up?
He said it once, and Alex, you know, he's very impressionable, that young Alex, and it immediately went to his heart.
And head.
And head.
Straight to the heart. I'll think about it. I'll quite get a thing about names like that. Like we've got London Minute in the Fantasy League. And the City Underground.
Sexy Samurais.
Yeah, maybe you're better at the names. You obviously got a talent for it.
Thanks.
Well, for 13-4, as I get my words together, it will be another eco for NaVi. P250s, USPs, it should be 14-4 unless there's some sort of absolute miracle coming in favor for NaVi at this point. Very difficult to win this round. It's going to be one step closer to the match points. As Dupree opens things up, he seems to be on point tonight as he takes down Simple. Big scalp to take. He's certainly been their nemesis going forward in this series. 5-4, treated like a gun round at this point. They just want to make sure they win these rounds. Obviously, it's quite tempting to rush into the position you just found that kill, but to slow things down, wait for another mistake to be made by the CTs. They have to react. They have to hunt for a bit of intel here as they just hold up. Device, UMP in hand, might find a couple of kills here. Sees decides to walk into the hut. It's a little bit of a bait and switch, but no problem with Device. He finds 2 kills as Zipex chimes in as well.
Guardian. Pistol. Timing the peak. Ooh, almost to perfection, but can't land the shot on top of it.
So,
14-4.
Matthew, the problem is after that force buy in the second round, the CT's going to this first gun round with not much. They have 4-4s. Guardian, to be fair, didn't really do much at all with his AWP in that first half. So not really like I've been missing that much on Nuke so far, but the problem is here, no head armor against the UMP device. That makes that almost a rifle. As we go into number 4 here, it's a difficult round of Famous for Simple as well. Lose this, it's over. And Astralis know they can go for a nice rush here if they want to. It looks like they may just do that. Squeaky door will be open. Seeds waiting on the other side, but he'll be smoked out. So an execution coming in from the Danes.
Edward, the M4A1S. Just to try and sit, hold off Hut. Instead, though, as always, we're seeing that fast rotation off of the ramp room. The difference this time is they don't have anyone in position at top of heaven or inside locker room outside who's made an early rotation to cover off Turnpike. So they've already split and gone in toward the ladder. Dupree, meanwhile, goes back the other direction once they push through with Device. He covers off downstairs, gets in a position to catch Guardian. It's all good. It's all gravy, baby, because they cover off all rotation points as a result. And Edward left is lonesome, is doing what he can, but really, there's not much to be done on the route. He doesn't have a kit. 1 versus 4. It's planted lower. No way back in.
Or is there?
Or is there?
No, there's not. No kit.
Stay tuned to find out. All right, Edward, there's 3.
Yeah.
Just looking to get guns down at this
But
point.
it doesn't really matter,
Keep
right?
his,
Like,
too.
like if he goes down at 1 HP, they know exactly where he is. He might have been better off just hiding and not giving anything away, because he's almost certainly going to die. They might as well hunt him down, not let him save the M4. It's going to be a match point, so it's not like they want him to kind of tempt his teammates to force buy around him. They have to, so they should hunt him. He's 1 HP. And Dupree, like Jaws, he starts to get closer and closer. He can smell blood in the water here. Molotovs fly in. Will they have enough time to hunt him down? He's surely going to be towards that T-spawn area, but they don't extend it quite far enough. So he does save the M4. And it's going to be match point here. 15-4, quite a quick showing on the second map of this. I guess not second map. It's a separate game, as Matt explained at the start, but it's always interesting. You kind of do treat it like a best of 2 in a way. It's back-to-back games, but they do contribute separately to the leaderboard in the end. So potentially the last buy here for NaVi, a shotgun, an MP7, a UMP, 2 M4s, and Astralis once again fast towards that squeaky door. Going to be trying to smoke it off and stick together, flash in. They won't be committing just yet. It's actually back towards ramp when they go. And Seized has maybe found himself in a horrible position. He goes down to 9 HP with that shotgun.
And
wallbang?
Dead. Don't give that. Yes, it was. It was actually a wallbang.
Yeah, it was
I
full on
think it was
wallbang.
all the way through lobby, inside of
Yeah,
the
looking
B
for the
wall.
bullets.
Yeah, there you go. Beside the fire extinguisher, which would have exploded in real life because of that. But they got a kill back out of it. Snack seems to be the only one consistent on that Mag 7. Massive damage on his Simple. Already on 17. Tagged by the Molotov. Forces him to look elsewhere for access into the lower site, which is smoked off for the bomb plant of Zippix. And smoked off. Oh, effectively is Flamey. Can't quite find the angle until the end shots. Doesn't quite do sufficient damage, though, as Guardian. Smoke still covering will allow his way in toward control. And with this angle, what can he hope to achieve? Because the glass blown out by a nade doesn't really indicate that he's there, but at the same time, you've got new orange boxes, you've got Toxic Room, and I still say that's a little bit powerful. Look at those boxes. Simple will drop down to get the kill, though. It's man advantage on the NaVi side. They've got kits as well, but a Molotov goes out on top of the bomb. Smoke not available yet to extinguish said Molotov. That gives Kirby time, but they're on top of it. Edward's there. Missed shot would cost them, and it nearly does, but Astralis get it back in the end.
The Molotov wasn't actually on the bomb
Didn't make
there.
it back far enough.
No, so that could have been very interesting indeed had they not faced. But regardless, Astralis, after losing overpass, pick up map number 2 here, and it's going to be tying things up 1 apiece on the leaderboard there. And what a dominating performance that was overall. They looked very comfortable throughout that. 11 rounds in their CT half. We did say this map is certainly balancing out now. It was both pistol victories for Astralis, so it was a good showing overall from them. Unlucky, I guess, on overpass. It didn't really look like the team we were used to expecting from them, but turned up the heat here in map number 2. Great showing overall. I have to say I feel a little bit sorry for Simple because he looked fantastic through both maps.
Yeah, that was incredibly good for both maps. A very convincing win in the end for Astralis. 1-1 on the night, so that's an interesting start to Pro League as well. We saw lots of ties last year. We'll send it back over to the desk. They'll talk us through it. Alex, it's all you.
Series to keep things level so far, NaVi and Astralis. Of course, that's not what else is going on the B stream, so don't forget that that is available alongside that, because some surprising results are going down. We'll touch on them after our post-match, after our post-mortem. Nuke goes the way of Astralis. You had some faith in NaVi, but unable to make any impact, Chad. That was an Astralis show from beginning to end.
Out of their depth, the stuff that I saw them do versus Heroic, where they're able to move them around the map with their outside executes and their positioning, it didn't happen here. You know, Astralis didn't move. You know, they weren't going to rotate to secret and stuff. They kind of just held their positions, and it looked like what they were going to do was play the retake, which is another approach you can have on the CT side. You don't have to fall for the terrorists' smokes and their feigns, and you know, Astralis stood strong and played strong.
You said you wanted to see more than just that default on their T side, Lauren. You didn't get too much of an Astralis T side.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Sadly, NaVi never really got much utility on their CT side, so literally Astralis just banged it through towards upper a hell of a lot of times. You can't really blame him for doing it. I'd have loved to see more of their T-side, because I think that's one of their biggest strengths here, at least what we saw previously, that they can really compete there and show a really good showing. But still, you saw Glaive device outside, which is another thing I want to have a little look at, and they proved just as good holding back the NaVi boys.
One smoke in particular really caught your eye, Chad.
It looked like it was going to be so good.
Who was it?
It was Flamey. He was sitting there. He was sitting there lining it up, getting it ready, and I was like, "This is going to be such a juicy smoke." And then it just
The intention
whiffed.
was that I imagined it was going to cover off Mini.
Maybe
Mini entrance?
I'm not sure, but
It looked great. It looked cool. Of course, this is just a couple of recaps of that. We saw Edward getting a couple of good exits despite being very little. Just so
I asked for that round. That might have looked a little bit weird. So that was the CT round where they had to buy in with no utility. And the importance of that round right there, like Lauren touched on, is when you don't have the utility on the CT half, you can't stop the terrorists from just walking all over you.
Yeah.
And you saw in that round, Astralis basically dominated the whole map, and they were able to harass the players in topside who couldn't just wait for their Molotov, hold them back with that. They got pushed out of position, and Astralis ran all over them.
For me, I did get a little worried though. It was when I think it was Device on the CT side pushing up towards like Ramp, came up through radio, and then Simple just decked him. I was starting to get a little bit worried that if Device gets a little bit sheepish, if Simple starts firing off, I was like, not again.
I mean,
but it did simmer down eventually. But that was like one of those moments. I'm like, if he gets a little tilted from that, I was a little bit worried it was going to spiral the other way.
I mean, Simple does seem to be, despite that poor performance on Nuke, Henry G's player to watch. I mean, it felt like he was playing, in the words of Henry G, lights out. Like genuinely, in every situation, you couldn't doubt that he was going to do damage.
It was like when he had a head-to-head duel, he seemed to win it consistently.
Every time.
Yeah, he was always coming out on top, or at least doing a lot of damage. So he's one of those players,
He's one of those players who just, when he's on, he's on. And even if you're losing 16-4, you don't want to take a 1v1 against him.
Yep.
Beautiful stuff, though, from Astralis to kind of keep things nice and close. I do think a kind of closing thoughts for this one has to be the fact that we're going to be seeing more from Astralis. We get another 2 games ahead of us. Mouse Sports going to be the next opponent. Do you think that? I think NaVi is a pretty damn good team to warm up against, don't you think?
I would say so, and it's something just to quickly touch on. Last season, we saw neither of these teams make it to the finals, right? Every match matters, and they can't just wait to the end of the season and hopefully cram. You need to be winning them from the get-go, and it's very important to get victories on the board. So,
14 teams in this league, and not forgetting they have just 10 weeks to put their scores on the doors. We are going to be taking a break, Lauren, but just quickly for the guys at home, Mouse Sports Astralis, why do you stick around to check this one out?
Oscar, you got to see if he performs. We saw the nerves before. You saw that moment in Cobble where he was